In a brave effort to stand for deceiving humanity, M&Ms went woke. But now they're backtracking. Woke M&Ms have been defeated. Let's take a look. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, where we like to call out the absurdities of woke culture, as well as call out the lies, deception, and corruption of tyrants. So today, we're calling out woke absurdities, specifically with M&Ms, because that's what we stand for. We have to fight... We have to fight against deceptive candy in order to keep the freedom movement going. So you probably saw different headlines over the course of the past year. M&Ms in a brave stance against, well, truth, in order to be inclusive, like M&Ms change their characters to be something they're not. Instead of letting their characters be, shall we just say, candy, they decided to make their characters in a very eclectic array of inclusive, very woke characters. You know, you can see here we have this female M&M, high heels, which is like, what are we saying? Like only women wear high heels? What are we going to think of? Like only women use tampons? Come on, M&Ms, that's not even very good woke inclusivity. So anyway, and by the way, I'd imagine with how tone deaf M&Ms were and how tone deaf all of woke culture is, the black female M&M is probably meant to be a black female, which is literally putting blackface on a candy. Feels pretty insensitive. And you've got this green female M&M, like we need female candy, or else like if it's just androgynous candy, that's going to make people who aren't candy feel very unincluded. So we need to make women feel included by pretending a fictional candy character is a woman. Why do we need to do that? I don't know. I guess because inherently we have so much disrespect for women that we think they're so weak and insecure that they won't be able to tolerate life unless we pretend our candy is them. Gee, give me a break here. So, and then this orange M&M, we got to highlight this. For inclusivity, M&Ms decided during their woke phase, we need to make this orange character full of anxiety. That's going to be woke because apparently like woke people have a hell of a lot of anxiety, which makes sense because they're not actually connected to themselves. They're typically identifying with things that they're not, which gives your physiology a very good healthy reason to feel anxious when you're essentially violating true nature when you're disconnecting from yourself. Anxiety is what you feel. So we're going to make this character just anxiety man. And then I don't know what the red and yellow M&M were supposed to be. Probably they're non-binary candy. But the whole damn thing backfired. Have you ever heard the saying, once you go woke, you go broke? I think it was actually Donald Trump who coined that saying, but it's just universally true. We're seeing Disney's stock is dropping by the mile. We see the more woke Netflix goes, its stock drops. We see Victoria's Secret really crusading and pioneering in wokeness, and their company value is just dropping. And M&M's is like, dude, if you do the same thing over and over again, you should probably expect a different result. That might be insane, but it's probably a good business model. So M&M's followed suit. They went broke with all those woke characters. It didn't work for them. So now they're backtracking, which tells you how little integrity they have. You know, if they were actually going woke or changing their characters out of some principled reason, if it was based on principle, they wouldn't backtrack, whether it's good for market value or bad for market value. They wouldn't backtrack because you're standing on principle. But woke companies stand on approximately nothing, trying to stand for the right thing. And I stand with the current thing, which is really just a really deceptive way of saying, we're going to do what we think is going to be best for profit. So these woke yahoos, we're going to try to cater to them. That'll be good, right? Wrong. It was business. People don't appreciate you disrespecting them by violating objective truth, by treating them like they're childish idiots with this woke propaganda. So it was bad for business. So now they're backtracking. And here's their statement they released on Twitter. And by the way, they owned nothing. They weren't like, dude, we kind of acted like we stood for something. We didn't hurt our business. So you know what? We're sorry. No, they didn't. I mean, it's not like an apology or a backtracking with integrity. It's just literally woke backtracking. But here's what M&M's had to say. America, let's talk. By the way, America is now a banned term by Stanford University. America, the word represents hate. It's an offensive term. I can't believe woke M&Ms would use the word America. Literally, and they capitalized it. That is so hateful. And it's the first word in their statement. M&Ms, once you play the game, you drown in your own quicksand, don't you? America, let's talk. In the last year, we've made some changes to our beloved spokes candies. Yeah, you made them unlovable. We weren't sure if anyone would even notice. How would you not notice? And you wouldn't change it if you didn't expect people to notice. And we definitely didn't think it would break the internet. Broke trust is what you did. But now we get it. Even a candy's shoes can be polarizing, which was the last thing M&M's wanted since we're all about bringing people together. No, you're about selling people candy. It's sugar. It gives them heart disease, gives them obesity, which is fine. Freedom. You can sell sugar if you want, but you're not about bringing people together, you woke bastards. Therefore, we have decided to take an indefinite pause from the spokes candies. In their place, we are proud to introduce a spokesperson America can agree on, the beloved Maya Rudolph. I don't know how beloved she is. I've never heard of her. I imagine she's many forms of diversity all at once, but don't know. Don't care either. We are confident Ms. Rudolph will champion the power of fun to create a world where everyone feels they belong. I have to say, I am touched. M&M's wants to create a world where everyone feels they belong. It is moving. And also go screw yourself, M&M's. So this M&M's announcement, it's all over the place. You see, this article is actually on MSN.com. I don't know what that website is. Obviously, it's not MSNBC. So anyway, it's an article. It's got a cool headline. The defeat of woke M&M's gives me hope for this country. Kind of gives me hope, too. It's great when people's votes count. That's what a democracy is supposed to be. And obviously, going to vote on election day, hopefully they count, but like that's one way we vote. And obviously, in a democracy, it's capitalism. So what we vote for with our dollars counts. So it's great. People cast their vote. They stop buying stuff when a company goes woke. The votes have been casted and wokeness has been voted down once again. It does give me hope. So I agree with the headline of this article. And then also an interesting Time Magazine headline, which is, maybe it should be called Woke Magazine, but I found it pretty hilarious how they kind of covered the tracks of M&M's woke backtracking. Like instead of saying like, dude, yeah, like going woke is literally terrible for business because it's an insult on objective truth, they covered it with propaganda, still insinuating like going woke is the right thing to do. And like it should be good for business. But these right-wing extremists raise too much fuss. I barely even said that right. So the article starts off, M&M says it's abandoning its colorful candy mascots because they are too polarizing for Americans to handle these days. No, they're not too polarizing. But when you insult people's intelligence, they don't like it. Doesn't mean you're too polarizing. It means you're too disrespectful. The ubiquitous chocolate characters, which have been the face of M&M's for years, didn't say anything controversial, but they became the focus of a partisan backlash after the brand, owned by Mars Incorporated, made a number of stylistic tweaks. They're not stylistic, they're anti-style, they're woke. I chose cast of spokes candies last year to be more inclusive, which by the way, being inclusive means you're being exclusive to people with common sense that like truth. Right-wing commentators began criticizing the campaign, with Fox News host Tucker Carlson, who is awesome, devoting time during multiple segments to decry popular candy as woke M&Ms. That's what they are. Article goes on and says, what M&Ms is showing is that it's going to back down from what it stands for if it receives a lot of negative criticism. No, they stand for nothing. That's why they went woke. That's the problem. They stood for nothing, then they went woke, bad for business, then they went kind of unwoke. Yeah, that's frivolous, but they weren't standing on anything to begin with. Says Deb Gabar, the CEO of Soul Marketing branding agency. It's becoming increasingly important to people that they know what brands stand for when they throw down their support. I would agree. I'd say this market test of M&M's having their market share hurt for standing for wokeness, that is important because it lets people know they don't want to support woke companies. And then they go on and, of course, in a smearing way, they talk about a Tucker Carlson comment who said, M&M's will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing and totally androgynous until the moment when you wouldn't want to have a drink with any one of them. That's the goal. When you're totally turned off, we've achieved equity. They've won. Probably, yeah, it's great. And the problem is nobody wants to buy your stuff when you've achieved total equity. I will just say, if there's one place to go woke, and by the way, no place is the best place to go woke, but if you're going to go woke, like cartoon characters is the best way to do it. Anybody can be anything. They're fictional characters. So if you want a candy that's a man that's actually a woman, but pretending it's like a sheep, that's great. Like it's a cartoon candy. Like this is a fictional reality. These are cartoon candy people. Way better to have it going on there than for that to be going on in people's realities, actual human people's realities, where they let their imagination dictate what their reality is. In a way, I'm sad to see the woke M&Ms go because a fictional landscape is the best place for wokeness. Why? Because wokeness is nothing but fiction. Great for the freedom movement. We're seeing people's votes being casted once again. You go woke, you go broke. People have voted with their dollars and actions, and that certainly does give me hope. Now, if you're a man who is actually a man based on your biology, I would love to tell you about the sponsor of this video that you might be interested in, Joy Mode. Hey guys, have you ever wanted a sketchy 12-hour erection that you can't get rid of without a trip to the hospital? Well, if so, Joy Mode isn't for you. Joy Mode is a sexual performance booster made from all natural ingredients, unlike sketchy pills you get from a gas station or prescription medications that can have absolutely gnarly side effects. This year, in breakthroughs in the field of biology, we found out that men have penises and they use them to have sex. And quite honestly, I'm a fan of that, which makes me a fan of Joy Mode. Whether you're happy or unhappy with your sex life, why not make it better? And Joy Mode helps you do it. It's like pre-workout, but for sex. That's the best part. And the second best part is because Joy Mode is all natural, it helps improve your sexual performance without any of the nasty side effects you get from sketchy gas station pills and prescription medication. The Joy Mode Sexual Performance Booster is specifically designed to enhance erection quality, firmness, and sex drive. Let me pause real quick and untuck my shirt, if you know what I mean. Joy Mode's all-natural ingredients were formulated by best-in-class scientists and biochemists. The science of erection quality. I like what those people are doing with their lives. Do you want to spice things up in the bedroom and boost your sexual performance and do it naturally without prescription drugs? Well, we have a special offer for the JP audience. Just go to usejoymode.com/JP and at checkout enter JP for 20% off your first order. That's usejoymode.com/JP for 20% off. Thanks, Joy Mode.